when they asked me to do this, I thought it would be useful that you have a look at what we think we do that's a bit unique. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about how we get social business and social innovation into startup and spin out as well. So remember, we go back to the vision. I'm always told, how does it reflect the vision? How does it reflect the ethos of the university? We have to focus on social benefit and the impact we're giving through our education, research, and social innovation. And the goals, remember, changing lives, improving cities and communities, social and economic impact, global, common good, always the common good. So that stuff has to come down through the curriculum. So on every program, there are opportunities for students to volunteer, to get involved in charitable and fundraising. It starts very much at the beginning. We have this thing called the Caledonian Academy. We have it now in London and in Glasgow. It's all about getting very young children, 4 to 10, 10 to 16, into the university, unveiling the mystique, letting the local community use the facilities, building a relationship with those communities. We use students to get involved with that as well, with the younger children. Volunteering, as I said, is a big part of it. Some of the vision science students, the opticians, they go on the eye train, it's called. It's in South Africa. It's a mobile clinic, and it goes around and does basic eye surgery for things like cataracts and other minor complaints. It moves around the country. The students get a lot of experience, work very hard, but they see huge impacts in remote communities. So that eye train's been a big part. What I'm working with is developing a business through our business students for Glasgow Hostel for the homeless, where we're trying to get them involved in a sandwich delivery business, getting them back into the workforce, generating revenue. Students are working with me on that. So there's a lot of those things in the curriculum. I suppose what's interesting to me, because I've only been doing this 2 or 3 years, is how many of the companies and the spin-outs that start, it's how many of the companies that start actually have a social angle to what they do. About 35 or 40% of all of our companies embrace social business in whole or in part. So what that means is they covenant part of their profits back to good causes, charities or other stuff. There's no emphasis from the UHatch people to do this. This is their origination, their idea. At the most extreme level, we have some where all the money raised is transferred to charities or third-party organizations. So it's working, it's coming through. I also think it's a different generation. I think there's something to be said for this Generation Z stuff, although I'm a bit skeptical of stereotypical stuff like that. But this is a different generation that's coming up. So I think the best way for me to explain it is to give you a case study of an actual company. You can look up their website online. So Biotic is one of our companies in UHatch currently. It's this woman and her partner, Isatu Najai. She's from the Gambia, and what she's come up with is a drink that comes from, this is a tree in Africa, a big one, the one with the very fat trunk, and it has a fruit, which I'm going to show you. And she's making a drink, a health drink, from the fruit. The health drink, you're using basically the seeds, which is a very solid piece of stuff. And she's trading on the fact that In the UK, 55% of people are buying free from products, free from additives, preservatives, colours, sugars, dairy. Yeah? So this product is dairy free, it's suitable for vegans, it's gluten free, it's soy free, and it's all natural. It's a high fibre drink. We don't take in anywhere close to as much fibre as we should. This is a problem that's more pronounced as we get older. You eat too much rubbish, and it's a real problem in retirement homes where diet is an issue. It's a big problem in the UK. And it's good for fibre. It's high in solubles and insolubles. It's strong in minerals and vitamins. You can see there antioxidants, potassium, magnesium, iron, and vitamin C. On the positive side, it's made from community wild harvest fruits, which come from her village and her community in the Gambia. So it's a good supply chain. It's a clean supply chain. And it's all about a diet and a lifestyle, really. Low sugar, zero fat, almost no calories, no salt, and this was one of the things we've been working on is the packaging and the developing it with ambient temperature. So if you're trying to get a drink product into a supermarket, one of the issues you have is if it's perishable, if it won't keep. So the ideal thing the supermarket wants is a product they can keep indefinitely. Better even if they don't have to refrigerate that product. So if you can hold it at an ambient temperature without adding preservatives or additives, then you've got a result. There's the fruit, you can see. It's a very solid fruit, yeah? That's an early incarnation of design. That's what it, second incarnation. So it's like Yakult, or there's a few other drinks like that. Yakult is one. They're often yogurt based. They're very sweet. They presume to be. They call them panbiotic, which means nothing. It's just marketing, and they're actually not terribly good for you. This is one that is good for you, that isn't full of sugar. You got to blend it with stuff, though. I mean, you can drink it in its natural form, but it goes better if you blend it with banana and strawberry and stuff. That's the most recent packaging, because one of the issues with the packaging was to create packaging that was sustainable and could be recycled. Because all this plastic, you know, it kind of doesn't fit with the ethos of the product. So we're going towards something that's almost 90% recyclable. We're still working on the tops. So the important thing is that 10% of this stuff is covenanted back to the villages and the communities in the Gambia. That's happening already now. We thought this was a good product. We thought it was a product that, you know, hit a number of targets. So we decided for the first time we would enter this big competition, the Santander University's Entrepreneurship Awards. Any involvement with Santander I encourage you to do, because they're big supporters of universities. This is a big competition across the UK, 2,000 entries. They identify 2 from each university. The 60 best then compete at 3 finals. That was the competition we were going up against, you know. There's me there with her and the drink, and there's all these guys, you know, with confidence, wealth, venture capital, University of Edinburgh, University of Glasgow, Durham, you know. This place down here, they even call themselves the Entrepreneurial University. But that's a bit like Heineken when it says it's probably the best lager in the world. Probably, but only if you haven't drunk any other lagers, yeah? So, anyway, so she had to do a number of presentations to like a difficult crowd of judges, nutritionists, people from Tesco, big multiple suppliers. And we won. We were amazed. that her company's called Hippo and Hedgehog. So she then went on to win 5,000 from Branson from Virgin Money. It's £5,000 for her company. So she's a success story, I suppose. A kind of a good example of a business which has a connection to development and community at a number of levels. Another good one is this one. This is a tourism company, so I'm obviously going to tell you about this. So this is the idea that everybody should have holidays, whether you're old or you're disabled, that there is a social role for holidays as well as just a pure discretionary leisure income expenditure. And it's the idea that older people, families with individuals with learning, physical or sensory disabilities will need help with holidays. And the idea here was to support the holiday taker with a care worker. So a lot of people get old, they lose their family or their family have their own kids, they don't want to go on holiday with grandma or granddad, and well, there are problems when you want to have a holiday as a family and you want some separation. He came up with this idea of a travel company with a care registration. He's a mature student. He was a social worker initially, specialising in old people. Came back to university aged 38. He launched the company in his first year, undergraduate. He didn't have a degree. And by his final year, he was turning over £400,000 a year. And it's another one, another social good. We've a few of these, and there's only 37. This is interesting. This is a health student. So these are the guys who weren't, they're the people who don't play. They don't want to do entrepreneurship. There's always the students coming along who are interested in it. There is a therapy which is to do with trampolining for people with severe restrictive disability, where their bodies are kind of crunched up. And bouncing on trampolines, gentle bouncing on trampolines, is a therapy which isn't on the National Health Service, but private suppliers are doing it. And he's come on leaps and bounds with Forth Valley Rebound Therapy Service. He's doing that really well, called Rebound Therapy. Again, he's channeling money back into social good. This was an interesting company, started by a female lawyer, mature student. That's the big award in the UK for female entrepreneurs and startup, Accelerate Her. She got involved in global trade compliance before Brexit. Once Brexit kicked in, the only person who saw a benefit was her. Yeah? So everyone now doesn't understand what we have to comply with. They're all going to her to look at global trade issues. So her business has really come on. She was doing a PhD, she gave that up, and she's focused 100% on the company. And then this is a big thing. So I think getting involved in these competitions is very good. It's very good for the university, it's very good for the students. The big one in Scotland is called Converge Challenge. All the universities go in for it. It occurs every year. This was the most recent one, September 2017. We won the top two of the three prizes. This company, which is a technology company, got funding from RBS, the bank, and from Scottish Edge. This is interesting. This is another health company. This woman here. So she's a professor in physiotherapy in my university. She started this company at Strathclyde, another university in Glasgow. Strathclyde wanted to take a major equity stake in the company, quite high, 40%, with a significant return to the university. They saw the potential. So she left, she came to us. Remember, we have peculiar stuff. We don't do all this big stake and taking a portion of your business. So her company, which is confusingly called Giraffe International, I don't know why she called it that, but it's basically web-based physiotherapy. The Australian Health Service want to buy this program for us, so the potential is massive. But she doesn't want to take any profit. She wants all the profit to go back to social good, social causes. So, and that was another winner as well. So this stuff is sinking in, and it's quite a rewarding part of what we do. And I think it's so different to all that stuff we have in the UK called Dragon's Den, where you have rich entrepreneurs kind of shouting at people and saying, I'm a success, I'm really rich, look at me. If you want to be like me, you've got to be really tough and hard. I find all that stuff appalling, actually. Sorry, but if you like it. But I think it's pathetic, most of it, and it's the worst kind of voyeuristic television. So this is the other way around, so that you can have business that has the social need and the social conscience. Okay, and that's it. It's quite short. So I'm conscious you might have some questions about that.
In terms of the legal aspect, how those company register?
Right. All of the normal registration of any company, the big difference is we wouldn't get into that technology transfer stuff or any stake in their company. We would encourage them to get involved with lawyers, register the company as a business, register for tax, but it's their company. It's like professor's privilege, but for all of the entrepreneurs, yeah? They then have their own tax stuff to deal with. But often they would register as a charity. That last one, Giraffe International, would be a charity, because after it covers its direct costs, it's putting everything back into social good. But we're not getting into all of that complicated stuff. Seems to me like we used to do that technology transfer, and we were keeping like 150 patents, and we were earning nothing. The people who were earning from that were the lawyers, keeping all these patents going. We were paying loads on lawyers. For patents, we were getting nothing back from. So the principal said, that's crazy. Let's focus on social good, and let's focus on this kind of stuff and see if they pick it up. We might miss a unicorn. We might miss a Facebook. Yeah, I'm first to say that. But I think the other stuff is more interesting anyway.